Hey guys, no Rogue Trader tonight, but we're still here if you want to talk. Passion, welcome. Maybe that was from yesterday, I don't know.
No, that just happened.
Okay, I am playing Eco in the background, so if you hear noises that sound like someone working on an oil rig, that is why. I'm joined, of course, by Pondo and Grimdark James. Our guy, Dave, is tired and sleepy, but he also just started a second company worth 2.8 million Norwegian kroner. It's actually 1.2 million zloty, but I decided to convert that to a currency we all use. That's it. That's the whole of it.
Okay.
Whatever we want to talk about, let's talk about.
Spoon's AWOL.
Oh yeah, we can't get Spoon, but he lives in disaster zone territory, so
Yeah,
you never know.
Maybe this is the reason we bump him back to intern again.
Ooh, that's brutal. Sir. Wow. I'm gonna actually mute the game so that we can hear you guys over that. Yeah, what do you guys got going on this week? I've been playing less Eco after Grimdark James dadded me. I try to limit myself to only 4 or 5 hours a day.
Incorrect. I'm still getting on late at my night, which is like even earlier your morning time, and saying, "Oh, look, Arthur and Spoon are still on Eco at the moment." I see. So you assume Spoon's been subject to disaster. I'm assuming he's just slept in because of.
Well, yes. Yesterday I played Eco in the afternoon. Sorry, the evening really, and then I got off early, went to sleep, and then woke up at 3 a.m. and was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna play Eco until I go back to sleep. So I played for 3 hours, and I went back to sleep and woke up, moved oil along, and then this is kind of the first real time I've been, like, the hour before this meeting.
So I didn't say this to you during the Cyberpunk stream, but so during the Cyberpunk stream, Arthur.
Yeah.
Actually, well, let me go back a step. So
Sure,
last
sure.
week, I had to go to the board of directors of my company and pitch to them why they should spend $4 million to go into a deal with a company that wanted to do work with us. But that was their cost of doing business with them.
Okay.
$4 million. And they accepted my proposal. They gave me the go ahead. I started doing all the legal back and forth. And then during the session of Cyberpunk on what was my Thursday, when the deal was closing on Friday, I got an email from the board saying, "Hey, we've thought about it. Could you talk them down to $2 million?" So, if I seemed a bit distracted during the end of the Cyberpunk stream, and then that went into my Friday but I managed to swing it, thankfully. So the deal still went ahead, but
Cool.
that was a bit of a killer. But I did get to. I took the afternoon of Friday off, having solved that deal, to play some Warhammer, and
Yeah.
got my sister
With your son? With your son?
No, with friends. Friends came over.
Okay.
Got my sisters out again. They are still undefeated. 5 games in our crusade, undefeated. This time against Orcs. And then the second game I played was I tried some Dark Angels pure Deathwing against Death Guard, and it was actually an unfun game because neither of us could kill the other. We both had units that were so hard to kill. It was just people hitting each other in the middle of the board without any models actually dying, and the game turned out as our first 9th edition tie.
That's really difficult.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, given the high scoring in 9th edition, it's really hard to get a tie, but we managed it. And I said it wasn't like it was a bad game. It just was, okay, I hit and I failed to wound, or I wounded but you made your invulnerable save, or you wounded but then you got feel no pain of some type, and so it just dragged on and on and on. We played the full 5 turns, and I think a total of 8 models between both sides actually died.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
That is interesting.
But it was better than work. It's better than working on Friday. So I did appreciate getting to play some Warhammer. But other than that, I've been actually, because this year apparently is the 20th anniversary of Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I've been seeing you play some Tomb Raider. How is that?
Yeah. What I did was I decided to play it on the PC because I bought myself like an Xbox controller that you can plug into the PC, originally for Squadrons. And I've been playing that again, and look, I've finished the first game like 4 times now, and then I've started up the second game again. I've just realized every single level I'm in, it's like here are your friends' highest scores in this level, and like Pondo is always the top of leaderboard. So
my
my son's like, this Pondo guy must be really good.
I'm trying to recall.
Incredible.
I'm trying the arcade mode.
I think it's just like they have scores for every level, like for finding all the secrets and doing all the challenges.
I agree. Pondo's too good.
I had like the weird, the second game, like the reboot, right? I had like some of the weirdest experiences there, where one instance where I was on a zip line, I suddenly heard like guys in the background start talking. I'm like, oh, okay, there's some guys nearby. I ended up landing like right behind them. I was like, oh shit! Quickly walked away, get ready to shoot them, but they didn't notice me. And I was on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, a lot of it is scripted. You know, like a lot of the things, like it's designed so you drop down somewhere where, despite the fact you're like 5 feet away, they don't notice you.
Yeah, I don't know if that was one of the scripted times though. I think it was just some weird luck. I don't know. And that game becomes if you do a lot of the side stuff, that game's comes very super easy, because eventually you get an ability just to auto aim at the head with a bow. And
yep. If you do all the challenge tombs.
Yeah. So I guess that I didn't even realize that was actually scoring me while I was doing everything.
Well, it scored you, and apparently you scored high. So
incredible, Pondo.
Yeah. Other than that, because there's some deals on right now for the Lunar New Year on Steam, I noticed that I was saying before the show, the only 3 things in my wish list were Vampire Bloodlines 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and then one of these vampire text adventure games that White Wolf were doing. I think it's Coteries of New York.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it popped up like, oh, one of the items in your wish list is on special. It's like $3. So I thought I might as well buy it since on my wish list, and then it had like, oh yeah, buy every single vampire game for like $12. So I just did that, and I think also when I finished Tomb Raider 1, I went to buy Tomb Raider 2, and it was like, you could have Tomb Raider 2 for $4, or have every Tomb Raider game ever produced for $40. So I did that, even though I had most of them on the Xbox already. Yeah, so I've been looking at these. I had a 7th Sea game that was like one of these text adventure games, but this seems to be the same form. I think probably even the same company. It's just like it's like a total choose your own adventure, but with the RPG mechanics thrown over the top, so you can sort of see you're going to make a whatever roll before you do this. But yeah, unfortunately, gaming has not been high on my list in the last few days. Sleeping has been on my list. I told you I slept for like 11 hours on my birthday.
Jesus, no, I didn't hear about that. That's crazy.
Because I had like on my birthday, it was a work day, and I had one of those calendars where literally I had half an hour in the middle of the day with no meetings. Otherwise, just meetings straight through the day. And then we went out that night for dinner with my kids and my wife. And when I got back home again, put the kids to bed, I just lay down on my bed and fell asleep. And that was like 8 p.m. and I slept until 7 the next morning. So I did wake up like around midnight long enough to get changed, but that was about it. So I guess I needed it. You know, one of those days you just got to catch up on sleep.
I do know about those days, James. There's also those days where you don't want to wake up. Everything is fucked and everything sucks. You don't really know why.
I did have one of those days when I was playing Cyberpunk 2077 till like 5 a.m.
Pondo. You're gonna get grim dad James here, just like me.
I did. Cotton came in and was like, come to bed.
Oh, shit. Look at this guy fucking up so bad.
No, look, actually, Pondo, you will find times when your sleep will be very erratically scheduled coming up. So, you know,
yeah, no,
getting used to be awake at 3 in the morning is probably something you should look at doing right now.
Yeah, I'm getting ready for that. I know it's happening.
Can't stop it. Can't run away from it.
Can't stop it. No, yeah. I ended up landing a house, which is pretty great.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize that you had landed it. That's great.
He said they made a counter offer which was within his budget. So
yeah. I must have missed that. That's incredible, dude. Congratulations. First house? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we put in an offer and they countered, which was like at the top of our budget, which worked out.
Okay.
Supposed to be 120. We went to 106 and they countered with 110. Which was funny is that the people who owned the house moved to West Virginia, which is where I'm from.
Should have just arranged a house swap. Yeah.
I thought it was funny. I don't know what part of West Virginia they're from, but
Maybe they're from the part with the marsh. They're gonna wash their clothes down at the creek. You know what I mean, Pondo?
I do.
Just in case anyone thinks I'm speaking a different language, I'm speaking West Virginian.
I've got a friend that's trying to buy a house right now, and she seems to have this misconception about how much people are willing to move on price. Like, you know, I think she wants to spend about 500,000, but she's going for 700 and saying, "Oh, I'll offer you 450."
She's gonna single-handedly bring that overvalued housing market down by herself, huh?
That's right, yeah. I think when I bought my place, they wanted 495. We offered 480, and they counted with 484. And we're like, you know what? For $4,000, done.
Good enough for me.
Yeah.
It's like, are they getting laughed at?
I mean, what's happening is they're going through the process where like they put in like a written offer through the real estate agent, and they get like a written rejection. It's not even like just, you know.
I'm guessing not handwritten, just like through message or email.
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah.
It would be hilarious if it was handwritten. As bad as that sounds, just handwritten, send in, and then they just hand right back. It's like, no.
But it's like when I bought my wife's last car. We were negotiating, and I'd offered them a price, and the guy goes, "Hold on a second," and he turns his laptop around. He's got like a spreadsheet there, and he goes, "This is how much the car cost me wholesale. This is how much it's going to cost me to clean it, to register it, to insure it. You know, that's the total price. If I take your price, you see I've lost $7,000." I said, "That's right, I'll fix it for you." So I went to his spreadsheet and I changed the wholesale cost of the car to $1, and said, "There you go, problem solved." So don't show me a spreadsheet and expect me to believe that is, an accurate representation of the situation. So,
damn, you listen. You Microsoft Excel sheeted him.
That's why I got.
He must have been so embarrassed.
I got the car for the price afterwards.
Now see, that's the best part of that story.
I walked out then, and he called me back the next day and said, "We'll do you the deal." So there you go. So let me ask then, since we're on a Rogue Trader not stream, how do you think everything is going for the crew and everything that's going around you? Is it?
I really want to have a talk with Cade where I see whether his religious sensitivities have been reset, because he has been trained wrongly as a joke, right? Like he believes that the whatchamacallit, like his faith believes that the Dark Angel's secret evil ways are the correct ways, right?
I mean, yeah, it probably they weren't taught by the Dark Angels. More, it's a tribal derivative.
Correct.
What they could figure out.
Yeah. Exactly. So I want to sit down and, we're about to go into battle. I want to have a talk with him. Like, okay, like the whole battle is basically going to revolve around you. You're a center point. I need you to keep up with me. You need to cover me and the captain, and we're just going to be tip of the spear, wipe everybody out. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in the God Emperor? I was going to work the term Hammer of the Emperor in there somewhere, just to give because that's what you're going to call the episode title.
Yeah, that's right. So the last game was Shield of Humanity. This game was Hammer of the Emperor, which are the two main setting books for Only War. Since this is you trampled into the Only War setting in the front.
It's pretty. Listen, James, galaxy brain right here. You're operating on a level I can't even get near. Yeah, I just wanted to check in with him and make sure he's, not as heretical, and I'm really looking forward to the war. Nero has gone far from where I thought he would be. He was originally going to be a very monkish, serious character, and he's overall been very scary, but not serious. And I want this to be like a resetting point for him. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win by a lot. Like, it's not just me. Although, again, at long range, I do have the frag missiles, and then at somewhat less long range, not that it isn't long range, but the heavy bolter, of course, is capable of putting out 20 wounds in a round. I don't know. I don't think organ grinder adds to that. So I'm probably not going to put the organ grinder ammunition in the front end, but yeah, like any boss we face. Also, Nero's pretty good at evaporating people that don't have like special tactics. So I think we're well positioned. I'm a little more concerned that we're gonna get hit with like fear and madness effects during the battle and like warp stuff. And I'm really interested to see how that comes into play. But don't let me take all the talking. What do you got, Pondo?
What do you mean by warp stuff?
Well, I mean, they're orc boys, right? That do warpy stuff.
Weird boys.
Yeah, so I want to remain close to Cade, but we could be looking at, you know, like we might not be affected, but the people, our cast and crew around us, you know, the general and the colonel, they could all be affected.
So long as I don't know if the whole into the jaws of hell thing applies to other people besides people who are under my entrepreneurship.
I mean, the thing is, you need to remember that this battle is going to be pretty big, right? We're talking thousands of troops going in here. Yeah. I don't know if this, like, my understanding is we're going to do, like, gun cutter runs, and then we're going to have to land and force our way towards the shield to, like, get them off the shield so we can reclaim it for humanity. And that, like, that is thousands of people, right? That's the guys who are already there, plus the guys we brought down. They're all going to be rolling in front of the Tide of Iron, so that the Tide of Iron, you know, like, they don't want the Tide of Iron to roll over a landmine, right? So they need to have infantry going in front of them. I don't know if we're bringing the command chimera, but, like, we could be looking at a battle on, like, 3 different levels of vehicle warfare. It's going to be big, and it's probably going to be bigger than you can cover no matter what you do. Not that your coverage is bad, because your coverage is amazing and great, and I would love to not go insane.
I don't. It says it's so long as they have sight of me. So.
Okay. I mean, they have to accept that you're in charge, I think, right? Like, they have to be recognized as part of your crew, is the terminology. So I'd
probably say the majority of the guardsmen are not going to be counted in that.
Well, let me double counter you on that, James. I believe we did just negotiate an honorary colonel position.
In the Fusiliers.
Yeah, so I think that the Fusiliers should fall underneath his crew at the very least.
Someone better sew a uniform, stat.
He just sees the wig. I love that wig.
Janissaries, I think Pierre says, like, yeah, I'll help take charge.
Well, that relies on the Janissaries and their commanders all agreeing to that, right? That might be out of our range, but we won't know until we get there.
I believe I passed the blather roll to do so. But...
Yeah, you did do some blathering. I know you're excited to do blathering. I want to see more blathering in the future.
And you're not concerned about the kill cruiser hanging in space? In the distance?
No, I am concerned. That's what I'm concerned.
See, the thing is, I'm not concerned about the kill cruiser. I honestly feel like with 2 ships, we can definitely get the thing that the Hand of Calixtus was built to do was to snipe people from weird angles. It literally has one of the longest range weapons possible. As long as we can get the Eternal Praetorium, which is slightly better armored than us, to attract their attention, I'd really love to get behind them and just use Nero's incredible ballistic skill to put a huge beatdown from behind on their weaker armor.
I think with Adrian's piloting ability, it should be easy to do more of the harder maneuvering stuff.
Now, James, I am concerned that the kill cruiser will somehow teleport into orbit during the fight, and we won't be on our ships at that time, or that there's some sort of mix-up with the way that the Eternal Praetorium comes into system. But can we beat a kill cruiser? Like, canonically, no. Mechanically, yes. I think we can win just through over successes, right? That's how it worked with the Necrons. We walked out of the Necron battle with basically no damage, and we put incredible amounts of hurt on them very quickly.
Yeah, the critical hits make a big difference. Like it's got 90 hulls, so it's going to take a lot to just take it out through Death of a Thousand Cuts. But certainly in terms of getting the quick rating off in your weapons, and therefore like managing to start fires or
this is what Nero's good at.
Yeah. So then I guess the other thing is with Necrons, we got really lucky because James actually missed a lot of his shots that otherwise probably should have taken more hits than we did.
Especially because Necrons are skill 50 as well.
Yeah.
So
what are orcs?
40.
That's a 10% difference. Good enough for me.
Yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, their shooting's not what matters. It's they try to get in close and then board. That's the sort of orc thing. Or ram.
My understanding is that the Lord Captain is a boarding expert.
It does what off command.
Enough of one.
You've got the counter boarding, right? You've got the board the enemy's ability. Am I wrong about that?
No, I have ability that raises morale by it.
No, I thought you literally had you were pushing it so hard during the Necron battle.
I was trying to.
It was a board the enemy ship.
Yeah, I
thing.
wanted to do boarding actions that we didn't really get a chance to because couldn't get.
Yeah, I was gonna say with these orcs, we should take these orcs to the own zone, man. I think we can do it.
The other issue is we don't have the.
I'd be worried about the Eternal Praetorium suffering orc attacks, like close range.
Yeah.
I think we're faster than them, although I haven't gotten a look at their sheet. I would assume that, we are faster than them, but more importantly, we're longer range. Now, the one issue is we need to keep our ship pointed towards them to get the maximum effect, but again, my hope is that the Eternal Praetorium takes their ire. Plus, we don't have anybody useful over there, right? We only set over our garbage officers. Is the frog guy on that ship? Is that where he is?
Yeah, he's on that ship.
Okay, he's mission critical, though. We need to bring him and Horatio back over.
Well, is he or is just a frog mission critical?
I feel like they're a strong pair, right? That's his familiar.
They kind of go one and the same because he.
Yeah. We can't lose them both, right? And losing one is as bad as losing both. Plus, if we lose one, we'll have to kill the other to put them down. It'll just be too sad to live without the.
So the interesting thing with orc ships is that in many cases, a lot of their stats change turn to turn. A lot of their weapons have like a D5 plus 2 strength, for example. So at any given turn, they may be quite powerful. Same things like range. They have random ranges that vary turn to turn, which can really, change things up depending on how things go. But,
interesting.
The other thing is what they do have is they have a lot of weapons as well. So like a standard kill cruiser has 2 prow, 2 port, 2 starboard, which means unless you're in their back arc, there's 4 weapons pointing at any point in time.
My plan is to be in their back arc, so.
I know. That's where their armor is.
That sounds like a problem for the Eternal Praetorium, who is not me.
Yeah, look, you used to ask me all the time with BattleTech, like, how do I think this is going to turn out, for example? And
yeah.
I got to say, like, if I was just knowing what the stats are like, if I was to say how would the Hand Eclixus and the Eternal Praetorian, along with their crews, go against the kill cruiser, I'd say that it would be a question of whether or not you can cripple the cruiser before one of the other ships gets destroyed.
Sure. All right, I'll buy that.
Yeah, I think it's quite winnable, but the question is do you lose a Praetorian in the process?
Now let me ask a question, James, because I've been listening to a lot of the Song from the Doom soundtrack called The Only Thing They Fear Is You. And Nero has a really high intimidate. Intimidation is literally everything he does. It's the only way he can communicate with people without a penalty. My understanding is that orcs are quite fearful creatures, that they will surrender and join even humans who show superior skill and intimidation, right? Like, they fall behind the strongest war boss.
Yep.
It's not impossible then for us to, maybe not the kill cruiser, but maybe recruit some of these orcs rather than wantonly murder them all. And again, not that that's bad. Nero will definitely push for wantonly murdering them, but he might accidentally, through flexing on them, cause them to be like, we should follow War Boss Commodore.
So what I will tell you, it depends first off on the Orc clan culture as well, because some clans are willing to be like that. Others not so much. But I will also point out that there are two named Orcs in this situation. One on the ship, one on the planet. One has an intimidate of 80. One has an intimidate of 76. So if you can out intimidate, give it a go. See how you go.
That's some serious intimidation.
I see you've listed bulging biceps there. All orcs get bulging biceps as a standard trait.
Yeah. But it could be said that I am as big as an orc, kind of.
I think orcs are about the size. The big orcs are about the size of Space Marines.
Bigger. I mean, if you see, I actually when we played 40k the other day, my friend that bought Orcs brought along his Grazgul Thraka, which is the biggest Orc who was on the same base as a Redemptor Dreadnought.
Yeah,
so
I guess it's true. I mean, he's essentially wearing a Redemptor Dreadnought.
Yeah, I mean, look, standard Orcs, standard Orcs are Space Marine size.
Yeah,
they that's the thing, is they keep growing. They don't die of old age, and they grow. They're like lobsters. Provided they don't die from virus.
All right, well, I control the rate at which lobsters die, so.
I think what it'll come down to is that Pierre has to go to challenge the big boss mano a mano and not die.
Yeah, but I feel like we could probably intimidate fleeing orcs into joining us. The other thing is that people like Sly Marbo are feared by the orcs, right? And that's not a particularly large fellow.
Yeah, reputation can certainly go with some orcs as well.
Well, I've heard that some call Nero the last word. Others have called him the bullet. He is a man who's been making enemies everywhere. Fearful levels of power and just fear in general. All I'm saying is, is he the worst pirate they've ever heard of?
How would Nero's hatred of orcs reconcile with...
Oh, he would, let me be clear here, he would absolutely want to kill them, right? But if the captain orders him not to, he does tend to, in every case but killing a Space Marine librarian, follow the captain's orders. And even then, he flexed on the Space Marine and was like, if you do that again, I will kill you. I can't believe I passed that willpower test. It was so close. I am looking at increasing his willpower in the future, or getting some sort of protection, because he is fucked when it comes to psychic powers. And Archmilitant does not level that very quickly. He really just needs to hold Cade's hand. Follow him everywhere.
Yeah, I got to admit, I've been a bit unclear, because there's been some debate recently on what happened with the rest of whether you're transporting a shitload of nulls, or whether you only kept,
The Eternal Praetorium is holding the assassin nulls, where they're being trained right now.
Yeah, okay.
So the Eternal Praetorium was turned into a mercenary troop transport by the Lord Captain. I mean, don't get... Ponda was the ultimate decider here, but that was my understanding. Right?
Yeah, I want to eventually start working towards maybe like a mercenary company.
Yep. What a surprise. Eric Vulgaris is doing the same thing on Oath of Veneseal. Making mercenary companies very popular nowadays.
Pierre got the taste of blood through the one battle, even though there wasn't really much blood. And I mean, I was like...
Well, let me ask James, how do you think this battle's going to go down? Especially with Kill Cruiser.
So I spent a lot of time trying to think about how I wanted to do this battle. The question originally Ponda was asking several sessions ago was, is it going to be like a 40k battle? What I would rather do is I'd rather make it more of a cinematic thing.
Okay.
So I sort of have an idea about the. I think of it. I always bring it back to things like the assault maps from Unreal Tournament, where you had to like sort of solve a number of things in order to sort of progress the map forward as such. like storm the beach first, then take the gun emplacements. You know, so it's for me, it's more about like the narrative objectives. So you know, doing like taking out these guns so the ground forces can approach, that sort of stuff. And likewise, the space battle is one that I wasn't sure whether or not, because once again, if the Eternal Praetorian is not there, that's a whole other question. Is
Yes, that is a problem.
Decides to take action before the Eternal Praetorian arrives, then
I don't think we can one-on-one it for sure.
Yeah, that changes the mathematics of it. So like I think that like any sort of cinematic thing, it's always skewed in the favor of the stars of the show or the stars of the story as such, which is the characters. So for me, it's really about, you know, what do you win or do you lose? It's more about what do you have to give up in order to win.
Wow, that sounds very familiar.
So I also had planned for this session, and look, no spoilers here because it'll have to be next session, obviously. I'd planned for a bit of a, it's not so much a fourth wall break, but certainly, you know, there'll be NPCs who will be saying things to both the characters and the players. I think when it happens in game, you'll know.
No, Nero, don't. Whatever you think is good here, don't do it. You're not that bad. You're not that bad. No one is bad enough to do what you're planning. And I'd be like, are you talking to me, James? Or are you talking to Nero?
Well,
no one is bad enough to take on Face Killer Smash Nutzer.
I'll just say it might involve Harlequins.
Oh, whoa!
If I'm going
Harlequins.
If I'm going to break the fourth wall, they're probably the best ones to do it with.
That's true. I mean, you know, I had Harlequins on the other Rogue Trader show, and or not Rogue Trader, but the other.
Glory. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it worked out pretty well. They were very Harlequinish for me. They just showed up and were like, "We're super mysterious. We're here to dance our way into your hearts and right off the battlefield." What's that? Bad stuff's happening. Harlequins away.
Like I've got a Harlequin audiobook. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's the main character in it is one of those characters who always refers to himself in the third person. So I'm not going to do that, but it's certainly I'm using a lot of the sort of stuff that's said in that book for inspiration. You know, so
is he Duff Man? Duff Man can't breathe.
Explode through the wall.
Kool-Aid.
So the good news is it looks like Spoon neither is in the disaster area nor slept in.
Oh,
just lost track of time.
Okay, well Dave is gone.
Yeah, that's fine. It's Valentine's Day, so I don't mind not getting to finish up. But you know, you can ask me if he wants to join in for some conversation, though.
I already sent it. Yeah.
Cool. No worries. But yeah, so I don't know how that's going to go. My interesting thing is like I sort of set up this 3-arc storyline, and I tried to. Hey Spoon, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Sorry about being late. We had
we were generally concerned for your safety. You know, we were talking about. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
The reason why, because I think
you live in disaster country.
You don't necessarily live near where I live. You live in the same sort of tri-state area, and where I live is frozen over almost practically.
Yeah. You live closer to the pond than you live to me, so
yeah. Well, Michigan, like you guys are just starting to get what Michigan has been having for the last like week or so.
Yeah,
but. So what have I missed so far?
We're having a talk show.
Okay.
So we've been talking about how we think the odds will look, both on the planet against the Orcs, and also if the kill cruiser gets involved. I mean, do you have genuine concerns, Spoon, or are you in Arthur's camp? We've got this.
I have concerns about the cruiser, but I think we've got this. Like
so. Yeah, Chad is saying, like, don't underestimate the Orcs. And let me be clear here, I'm not. It's just, we still have really not seen Nero at peak capacity, but the one time we saw him face a horde, he immediately broke it while lying on the floor, screaming and dying. firing a heavy bolter with one arm. Like, all I need is for everybody to stay away from him, and we've got 2 melee fighters now plus Cade. Like, Nero is the volleyball team setter. All right, as long as you keep him clear, we're good. Please continue, though, Spoon.
When will we see Nero's final form?
I don't know.
What is that?
You'll have to tell me.
Heavy bolters for arms.
So it's a man portable las cannon.
He doesn't need a man portable las cannon. I removed it from my weapons list, and the skill training for it, I removed it. He's got the heavy bolter, and he's got the backpack mounted shoulder armed las gun, right? The hotshot las.
Yes, but what about a shoulder mounted las cannon?
He's got 2 storm bolters, one on each hip, and then his arms have the pop out auto pistols, so that if somebody does get into melee range, rather than drop the heavy bolter, he just allows them to come out and shoot people. Like, fighting in melee range is no longer as big of an issue. It just lowers his ability to kill, 8 people at the same time. Now he can only kill the guy in front of him.
The issue with the auto pistols is they don't really do a lot of damage, nor do they have.
It's better than him trying to punch somebody or use a flame blade.
So here's how I see like our land battle strategy playing out. Right, is Nero shoots all of the other orcs, Dawn kills the big ones, and Adrian's job is to just keep orcs away from Nero.
That sounds good to me.
I did wonder what would happen if you had a battle where you had a horde of weak things and one clearly very big, powerful thing, where the Nero's going to go, well, I've got this weapon that's perfect clearing out hordes, but I also want to kill the big thing. Like it felt like it might be like a crisis of conscience.
That is a crisis, one solved by following orders.
Yeah.
If given free reign, he would definitely kill the big thing to scare all the smaller things away.
I thought you were going to say it's solved by taking 2 rounds. Right?
He uses a hero point to take a second action. No, wait. That's not a thing in this system.
But no, what I was saying before, just when Spoon was joining, was that so when I put together this storyline, it was a three act arc or such, or three story campaigns just across all 3 seasons. A lot of what's happened in this season so far in these 12 episodes has been stuff I'd originally focused on for season 3, because I like to foreshadow. I like to drop in, clues to what I planned earlier on. But you guys have grabbed those clues and gone, great. I'm gonna strangle this one until it stops talking. So what I need to do is make sure that.
James, what do you think we do to clues, man? Holy shit!
He's not wrong. We've literally done that on a couple occasions.
Hey, this season we actually did like not just Rogue Trader stuff, but we did sandbox stuff. Admittedly, none of it was in the area we actually have authority to do it in, but we did do it.
Yep. So so what I need to now work out is if I need to move some of the originally planned season 2 stuff into season 3, is to make sure that is the storyline is coherent as such. Like, if you spend this entire season ignoring the Tide of Iron in the form of the Iron Warriors fleet, then that means that I've got to make sure that coherently flows into the narrative in season 3 as well.
But that's our capstone for this season, right? We're trying to solve the dick problem now, so we can solve the problem of the dicks second.
So recently, when you said before that you thought we were maybe a bit over halfway, in my head I was like, yeah, maybe a little bit past a third of the way.
Okay, all right. I actually thought we were closer to 2/3, but okay.
Yeah.
No, we've been.
It's gonna be a long season.
So we've been side questing to level up first, and then we're gonna go take on the main storyline quest, right?
Yeah. Look, obviously we need to unlock the geologist job so that we could get Black Mage, right? You know what I mean.
You're going to end up in a situation where you're going to come, face to face with the Iron Warriors Warpsmith at the end. You're going to find that he was statted out to take on like rank 2 heroes, and you guys are like rank 7.
Nero just falls asleep in a hammock.
My whole Cyberpunk 2077 last mission experience.
Yep. like, oh, we expect you to be like about level 40 when you take this on, and it's like me over here at level like 70 going, oh well, this isn't fun.
You can go past level 50.
No.
I mean, I'm already at the point where, you know, you just pull the sniper rifle out and instant headshot people from across the map.
I've been using the Sovereign double barrel, and it's
Wow. I hate it. It's awful. If you fail to get the lock on at close range, you just miss. You could fire a face full of shot at somebody, and if you didn't wait for the lock on, it just sucks.
It's not a smart shotgun. It's just a shotgun.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the smart shotgun. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Never mind.
I didn't really like a lot of the smart weapons in Cyberpunk.
I don't like, yeah.
Ashura is godlike, guys. I can't begin to tell you how nice it is to be able to just lean around a corner, snap headshots somebody, then walk away. 2 seconds later, you're here. Ah!
The smart ones didn't work like I thought they would.
Oh, yeah. Like, I expected the system to be different, but it is kind of cool.
But hold on. Who's gotten Skippy?
I have gotten Skippy, but it was so much worse than the weapons I already had. I just put him into my home thingy.
Skippy is so much fun.
Skippy seems like they're going to be a lot of fun.
So you know Skippy has a quest that unlocks if you kill a number of opponents with him as well.
Oh shit, I should probably get Skippy out.
How many opponents?
I think 100. Once you kill 100 people, that triggers the quest.
That's not going to take very long.
I feel like I've killed 100 people with that pistol.
Okay.
I haven't got it yet.
Did you have him in kill mode or a non-kill mode? Because
Kill mode.
Alright.
It doesn't matter which mode you're in. Once you've killed 100 people in whatever mode, he locks himself into the other mode, and then you've got to go on a quest. So
Condo's probably sitting at 99 and just like, I guess it's bugged on my game.
You say that, you're probably right. Because there was a point where I was like, all right, the thing's not killing as fast. I need to use something else. And I switched to, after I got the legendary crafting unlock, I switched back to chaos, which is pretty great because I could snipe people through walls. Because tech weapons are broken.
You don't need a tech weapon to do that. There are a lot of weapons that will shoot through walls. Whatever the Soviet pistol that I got, the one-shot pistol that holds one bullet, but will deal like 120,000 damage, will shoot through like 7 or 8 walls. It'll also destroy cars in one hit while you shoot through them.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, shooting through. You're like, I've shot through a wall, and I'm like, I don't know if my bullet ever stops, man.
I've shot through a dozen.
I remember this when Magnum Research bought the Desert Eagle platform off IMI and started producing it in America. Yeah. They released a FAQ about like owning a Desert Eagle, and one of the questions that somebody asked was, is the the .50 Action Express a good gun for home defense? And the response in the fact was like, if you fire this in your home, at night at a home invader, first off, you'll probably blind both yourself and them with the muzzle report. But secondly, the bullet's likely to go through them, the wall behind them, a car down the road, into someone else's house and hit them. So we don't recommend this gun for home defense.
The latter part was not that accurate. Like, through them and through another wall, yeah.
Did you guys see that Colt got bought by like the Czech government yesterday?
No.
Yeah, that's wild. Apparently all of their defense contracts are being looked at because the United States has like very tight defense contracts where you can only sell to like US contractors.
Oh, they were purchased by CZ. Okay.
Yep.
That's wild.
I didn't know Colt was on the market, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, because CZ's obviously another foreign manufacturer, been around for ages.
Yep. I know them for the CZ75, of course. Very famous.
Yeah. There you go. So it's already affected a tender in Canada. Colt Canada has been excluded from a tender because of it.
Well, yeah.
There you go. I didn't. No, that's interesting gun news.
Yeah. Colt ends 175 years as an American gun maker with purchase by Czech firearms company.
Yep. I saw it yesterday. I was #shocked. I'm surprised this is the first you guys are hearing about it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not up to date on all of my firearms company purchases.
This one just feels like a big one, though.
Yeah.
No, it's a huge one considering, but it just wasn't on the news as much. That
Yeah,
all, like,
that's
all that
wild.
crap. I've been, for some reason, kept getting the lady who used Gorilla Glue to glue her hair together.
Been seeing a lot of memes about that one.
See, I was surprised because the last company I worked for before my current one was originally an American company, which was sold to a Chinese holding company. It's now just been sold back to an American company again. But while it was in the possession of this Chinese holding company, one of the contracts of sale said that it could not be sold to a Chinese government entity. It couldn't be nationalized, basically, and that if it was, the sale would revert. Effectively, the condition would be null and void. And during the last sort of year with coronavirus, another company that was owned by this Chinese holding company was nationalized. So not the actual overall company itself, but one of its subsidiaries was. And that started the question of, oh, well, does this trigger this clause? But I mean, how do you undo a business sale? The people have been paid, the people that, the directors have moved on. You can't just suddenly say, hey, by the way, you're now the CEO of this company again.
Yeah.
It would have been a really messy thing, but thankfully they found an American company to buy it now. But this seems like one of those pretty big deals.
Yeah, that's probably a lot of paperwork and headaches for the people up top.
I have to tell you, I'm really not surprised that people would make business deals without considering the people who make the deals don't consider the ramifications of the actions of the people that will come after them, because they're just looking to they're just looking to get their 5 minutes in the spotlight before they get promoted and move on to the next company and the next company and the next company. Hoping that they can keep passing the buck until somebody gets called up in court.
So yeah, I think that going back to Rogue Trade, I think that the campaign is going well in my mind. I think that this is probably, to be honest, probably the resolution of the things on Kolth, when they are finally resolved, I think would probably be a pretty decent halfway point. So on that basis, we're probably looking at around a 26 to 28 episode run for this season. I think that the last one was 23 or 24. So
Okay.
Roughly on track. I think it's pretty good.
All right.
And watch out for Harlequins in your face soon.
Oh boy.
But why are they interested in this world is the question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Then James is like, they're not. They're only interested in the Lord Captain because of elvish prophecies. Whoa.
Yep.
Look, I've already got James's plots on the line, bro.
Hey. The elvish prophecies have nothing to do with the Lord Captain.
That's right. I'm sorry. I apologize. They would never reference a monkey.
I'm trying to recall in my head what's our current path of the road trip.
We're on Kolth. I will.
We're on Kolth. I don't remember what.
Yep, I don't worry, I got it. I'm pulling up my
Kolth,
notes.
and then Sinofia, and then
Yep, we're going to the museum on Sinofia, someplace on Solomon, and then Mara.
Yep, correct.
On Solomon, we are looking for the mausoleum of the Sisters Dialogus.
I don't know if we go straight to Mara, because Mara is like the in-game point.
I mean, after you hit Sade, Sinofia, and Solomon, you're ready to go there. All right. Well, at the very least, you'll have the three things that you need theoretically, right? You'll have the fabric, the guide path, the whatchamadoozle, the bleeple blopple.
The talisman, the pattern, and the guide.
Yep, you'll have those things. You'll have gathered the three plot coupons to turn in for the MacGuffin, okay? Then the MacGuffin will promptly be stolen by the Inquisition, and they'll be like, now we control the Tyrant Star! Kill the heretic, the Lord Captain! I, Anton Zeb, shall send my 3 henchmen after you! Once you've defeated them, you can face me! They are the bosses, so you can call me the big boss!
Everything I learned... Go ahead, Tupelo.
What I'd be waiting for is that we get to the Tyrant Star, get control of it, then the guy comes in and is like, ha ha ha, now we have the power. And then
I assume it'd be just like what the time. It's like a Mass Effect 2 where they're like, yeah, we'll get control of the Reapers. And then the Reaper just mind fucks them all and they all kill each other.
And I'm just here as like, I told you so.
AP figured it out ages ago, right? Everything I know about running campaigns I learned from BioWare. Right? So it's like path, split 3 ways, back to the middle, path. So
I saw a meme today where it was like how people think a campaign goes, and it's one branch, nose branch, and then nose branch, and it's like how a campaign is actually run. It's a branch, and then back together.
Yeah.
Wow, that's Spoon. That's not how I run my campaigns. I've had a show where the players accidentally ended up on the other side of the galaxy, and I had to write a whole second plot line.
Yeah.
I spent enough time in project management to understand how diamond technology works, where you spread your ideas, Okay, bring it back.
Some people would call that railroading, which is perfectly fine as long as that's what you're looking for.
No, I don't think
Some games, Mr. Big Spoon, are actually sandboxes. And this one is pretty sandboxy because we have been wandering around doing fuck all for a while.
That's right. Just look at the lines on the map to realize how sandboxy this is.
Yeah, because we went from the left side of the map in the Forge Worlds to the right side of the map where we didn't need to go until like the Act 3.
We might not have needed to go there, but we wanted to go there to get that ship.
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine, look, we had to talk about can we beat
We still don't have.
Well, but we could have had it.
Yeah.
Imagine how easy the fight with the kill cruiser would be if we had a third ship. We wouldn't even be discussing how can we defeat them. It'll be how quickly can. You're saying that he would increase the challenge to represent our new level of capability when we took the time to side quest to get them? Oh no, that's ridiculous. Everyone knows that enemies don't level up.
Well, you're out there training smithing to level up. The Draugr are also trained.
While you were partying, I was practicing the blade.
Yeah.
I've ran into that issue. Like, all right, I got my smithing up to 100. Oh, the enemies are my level, and I'm not prepared for this because I have not been practicing anything else.
So this
Stealth
Friday
100.
Past, like Friday evening, I ran my Numenera game, and I thought it was going to be the last game of the session. I said last game of the whole campaign, but it looks like we'll probably fit one more in now. We didn't get it quite finished, but it was one of those great games where I get to reveal all the stuff, you know, that and connect all the dots that the characters have been following. And one of the things that I've been able to do in that game better than most other games is I've been able to sort of say, okay, this is what the bad guys, so to speak, are doing at the same time. You know, so I'm not so much doing it in response to what the PCs do. It's just like, okay, so the PCs want to spend 3 more months doing this. Okay, I need to work out what those bad guys do for the next 3 months as well. And then represent how the PCs see that from their side.
Welcome to Oath of Endosteel.
I think it is a sorry.
I said welcome to Oath of Endosteel.
Yeah, but I think it is a common GM thing to, you know, to move up the enemies as players do as well, like almost commensurately without thinking about is it does make sense. But
I mean, it might not make sense, but it's about conservation of plots, right? Not just conservation of plots, but you never want to end up with like, all right, guys, it's the dramatic end fight, and you easily roll the enemy. Like that's not fun.
Nor do you want to have NPCs that were clearly just sitting around doing nothing, waiting for the PCs to arrive. I've certainly had times that people have turned up to places. It's like, well, the guy you were after was here, but left, you know, a week ago because you took your sweet time getting here. So,
I love leaving behind notes or like letters that the villains have written or gotten.
Kill this man and burn after reading.
Yeah.
The most Skyrim plot line possible.
Always forget to burn after reading. That sweet lady from the oh shoot, what's the name? The
Assassin's Guild?
No, it's like a sweet old lady from the Champions Guild. No, not even Champions. The
Fighters Guild.
The
Fighters Guild.
No, I've had a weird instance where there was like a maid lady in Whiterun. and
Okay.
dragon.
You mean the companions from the companions?
Yeah, the companions. I've had
Yeah.
instances where the maid there and the maid in the keep in Whiterun both sent assassins after me.
Hondo, what have you been sticking your dick in, bro?
I think I accidentally. It's like occasionally I accidentally steal a plate because I'm grabbing the other
Yeah,
stuff.
You're a fucking monster. You're a monster, Pondo. Why would you send an assassin after somebody for that?
Look, it's
I don't know.
That plate has been in the Jarl of Whiterun's family for years.
Yeah, it's interesting when you actually read those letters. You see who wrote it. Because when I saw the name, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And I looked it up. I was like, "Really? The maid?"
I mean, it's General Dog's body, you know. Obviously, some of them wanted you dead, but didn't want to do it themselves. So they sent the help to sort it out.
I can't. I don't know if
That-
their life
that
savings were
helps
worth
help.
trying to kill me.
This is the problem with subcontractors. You never know what's gonna happen. You remember that the Chinese assassin who hired an assassin for slightly less money, and it went down like 10 assassins until it finally ended up with the police? They rolled on all of them. Like each one gave up their buyer all the way back to the original guy, and they each one of them was like, "You got paid 10% more than me, you son of a bitch."
I mean, this is the story of our Cyberpunk 2020 plus game. Is every time we get a mission, it's like, okay, who can we pay to do half this mission for us?
I mean, that's very cyberpunk, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty much the whole get the girl infiltrated into the telephone company mission was just pay someone to hack the system at the end of the day.
I mean, that's very cyberpunk to hire a comrade.
Our involvement, everything the players did, compromised the mission more so than anything else.
That is true. That is.
Yeah.
So the highest tier Patreon, I run games for people, and they've I mean, it's probably been about 3 years now. They switched over to 2020, so they play in the 2020 plus universe, and they have created a team. Oh, we're losing James. I'll wait for James to get back. So they've created a team, and their team hired a guy to be their driver for a mission. They needed a second van to carry a cell phone jammer onto the target area, and that guy was like, "All right, look, you can't pay me a lot. That kind of pisses me off, but I'll tell you what, you let me pull any loot I want out of the battle from people's bodies, and I'll do it for that." And they're like, "Well, we don't normally loot people's bodies, so sure." And he ended up like throwing knives at people, doing all sorts of really low level attacks with like a pistol, but it ended up he rolled hilariously high in the process. And they were like, "We would like to hire you full time to bring a team of scavengers behind us and just clean up all the loot." And he was like, "Great, I love having a job. When can I start?" And you know what? The scavenger team is a classic D&D move, right? Like, that is old school. The eldest of schools.
It's all your hirelings.
The hireling team.
Oh, hey, I stabbed this big ass dragon. Grab all that gold and just follow me around, please.
Well, I mean, hirelings are going to be a huge part of Dinner in a Dungeon, so, you know.
So on the subject of hirelings and subcontracting, you guys at some point should take a look in the back of Into the Storm in the section on background endeavors. Because you've got one or more additional ships, there are rules there where you can actually say, hey, rather than me going off and trying to make money, why don't I just send that ship off to go and make money? Like, you know, someone's got to drop this tank off at this nearby.
It was like Pondo's been working on that already.
Because right now the Teleportorians has been following you around.
Yeah, just kind of...
backing you up with
like,
some extra guns, you know, but...
There'll be a mercenary ship one day filled with murder bots.
That
I'm just
is
saying the
the
option
end goal.
exists.
Ultimately, we at least have a half a ship with the Gilded Throne, which who knows will be fixed.
Really, it needs some rewiring and a new crew.
Like rewiring.
Yeah, like a kilometer and a half long.
Wow. I
What
don't.
happened to the crew of this? There's like nobody in here. That's a long story.
Yeah, I was gonna say we probably can't tell the next crew what happened to the previous one. Sailors are a little
Suspicious?
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to Shanghai a whole crew if we start spreading that story.
Well, we already
It's
Shanghai
obviously the Guild of
crews,
Thrones
so
gonna be- the Guild of Thrones is gonna be haunted now, essentially.
it's perfect. It matches the mood.
Hopefully, you're all haunted by what you guys did.
I'm fine.
We didn't do anything.
I was not. I was present for the conversation, but
You didn't even get back a house crew because they'd already sold the ships. They had their money.
yeah, that's the funniest part. It didn't even do what we wanted it to do, aside from getting us a ship.
I know as I said this, like it's not going to work out the way I said it will. No,
Yeah,
it's just-
I could see the look on your face at the time. As soon as you said it, I realized how I'd play that out, and I could see that you could tell. But,
like,
I think,
as soon as I
yeah.
said this, like I didn't say that specific enough.
yeah, that's why I'm never giving you a genie lamp, all right? Because you'll just kill yourself.
I was gonna say, like, James is doing the classic genie conundrum, right? You can't wish for anything because they'll somehow take it out of context.
No, I know. Yeah, when I said it, I was like, I should have said that differently, and then it's like it's too late. I already said it. It's gone. It's out there.
Because genies are very much rules as written rather than rules as interpreted.
It's intended, yeah.
I mean, it depends on the game master who chooses things, right?
I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of rules as written and then rules as interpreted with what they think.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the Inquisition, so
Yeah. It's rules as what gets the job done quickest.
yeah. Rules as how do I achieve this with the least spent resources and most anger to the PCs.
No, for in this case, it was how do I do this with the least application of resources, but at the same time letting the PCs know the same thing happened to them if they piss me off.
Yeah, exactly.
That was it. It was like,
Yeah.
no, don't keep any torpedoes in the ship at all, for whatever reason.
They'll get their ship, but it's also going to give them a message.
No, it's, I mean, what I'd like to do is obviously the mercenary thing is going to be secondary. I've been trying to build that up with the gnolls, kind of getting them equipped up. I think I got them carapace armor or something. I don't remember if I got them carapace armor yet.
We got them guns.
Yeah, we upgraded the guns and armor.
I thought guns and armor. I thought we got both.
I don't remember what armor I got them. That's the issue at the moment. I can't remember if I just got them flak or just like light carapace. I think.
Yeah, I think it was one step above whatever like the standard for the ship had been, because they went from like auto guns to las guns and I think flak armor to like light carapace armor.
Yeah, that's right. Because flak armor is standard.
Yeah.
Flak armor with shotguns and auto guns is standard for a ship.
It's what I probably imagine doing is getting them some hell guns as well, as well as like some plasma and melta and stuff like that.
Sure.
Essentially making my gnolls Tempestus Ions.
For sure. Yeah, man. And then we just have an anti-psyker squad running around.
Pondo?
Yeah.
My uncle just sent me WVU news. WVU freshman sledded into a cop car and then tried to bail by continuing to sled away after putting a massive dent in it.
Yes.
His fraternity is bailing him out.
Of course they are.
Of course it is.
Yeah, that sounds like WVU, all right.
Yep.
It doesn't help that whole town is on a hill.
You're talking a hill, more like a mountain.
I've seen that on
It's a
TikTok
mountain.
actually, because there was a TikTok of a dude in a big like laundry basket, and he goes down this hill and hits a cop car, and then keeps going.
I wonder if that was actually it.
It might have been. It might have been.
Some people are really stupid. I don't know if you knew that.
At a time, WU was the party school of the nation.
Still the #1 party school of the nation.
Still the #1 party school of the nation. Yeah.
It's never not going to be, my friend. When I took my car in to get repaired, the guy was, I was like, oh, a WVU mug. And he's like, yeah, my daughter goes there. And I was like, your daughter goes there? And the guy sitting next to him gave me the smile and the nod. And he's like, yeah, my daughter's such a sweet angel. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, I'm so glad I'm sending her to WVU. I'm saving so much money. I'm like, really? Like, I'm like, yeah, that's true so far. And he's like, yeah, nothing bad's happened there. And I'm like, I'm a WVU grad, man. She drunk. She fucking drunk, bro. I explained to him the couch fire tradition. He's like, I haven't heard of that. And I was like, man, that's because your daughter ain't telling you. You dumb. They set everything on fire in WVU.
The couch fire tradition.
You don't know about this?
It's a thing.
Oh boy. All right. So WVU in West Virginia has a long tradition of leaving couches out beside the road. And in Morgantown, West Virginia, that has evolved into people setting those couches on fire after a victory or a really bad loss at the football or basketball arenas. The road that runs between those two is not, so it's not like one road, it's like two roads that you have to go to, but runs through one of the poorest parts of town. Where leaving couches out for the trash people to eventually, months down the line, get rid of is a tradition. Some people just buy really cheap couches and leave them out there on the assumption that some dumbass will set them on fire. The person who bought it will get to see it on fire, but the dumbass that sets it on fire will be the one who's blamed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Setting couches on fire is a very serious problem. Look, the top selling alcohol in West Virginia when I attended WVU was the smallest keg of vodka you could buy. It was like a half keg of something called like Grigori or Rasputin alcohol, and the local liquor shop stocked it in enormous numbers because fratties would just show up and just buy dozens of them and survive the weekend on that, and that would be that, and cat would be cat.
Yep,
That's how it works. Non-American, non-West Virginia friends. Pono knows the truth of it.
Yeah.
WVU is a crazy, insane place. I honestly can't believe I graduated from there. I probably should not have. I say this as an alumni with a lifetime subscription.
That is a questionable play that you did.
I don't regret my time there. But if I had to do master's work or doctorate work, it would not be at West Virginia.
Yeah. What's the mascot of WVU?
The Mountaineer!
Mountaineer. Okay.
Montani Semper Liberi, bitch!
I think you guys, the WVU's in the Big 12 now, right?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Yeah.
As the last time I checked.
Boy. Yeah.
Mountaineer's always free, man. We have an anthropomorphic human with a shotgun and a whiskey bottle. That's not our mascot.
No party school.
Well, when I went, you could get a semester's tuition for $5,000. So it was really not bad. I mean, housing was pretty good too, because it's a pretty low income area.
It's a bit more now as it gotten more popular.
Well, I mean, it certainly has grown since I graduated. That was almost a decade ago. And local employment opportunities weren't too bad because they would hire students to do the WVU E-tram system. I forget what it's called, but also local power companies would just hire electrical engineering students right out of college.
Nice.
So W was also a huge power town.
Yeah.
A lot of transformers and shit. Not the kind that turn into cars, the kind that turn power into other types of power.
Yeah.
Someone who electrical engineers just died when I described that's how a transformer worked. That was the quick and dirty way. That was like the capacitor talk we had earlier. Technically true.
So I was going to say about one of the ways that university students in Australia misuse alcohol
Oh boy.
This is a very Australian thing. So
Yeah.
I didn't know this until recently, but apparently, cask wine, like wine in a bag in a
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
That was invented in Australia originally.
Ooh, fancy.
And the other thing that was invented in Australia was the Hills hoist, or spinning clotheslines. Like the clothesline with the pole in the middle.
Yeah,
And
I know what you're talking about.
That's it. Yeah. So a common thing that students do here is they buy casks of wine, pull out the bag in the middle, hang it by pegs from the clothesline, and then everyone stands in a circle around it, and you spin the clothesline. Whoever it stops on has to drink from the cask, so from the goon. So.
You guys invented spin the bottle, but for spin the bag. Nice. You guys would make great West Virginians.
So certainly it's a common belief here that any degree that ends in the word engineering involves drinking lots of beer in Australia.
Yep, that can't confirm. It's American tradition too. I don't know.
A lot of professions being broadcasting, theater, et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, in recent years, they've started to attach the word engineering to a lot of things that.
I was going to ask, Arthur, as someone with a degree that ends in the word engineer, how do you feel when you see people call themselves like sales engineer?
Yeah, like that's not a thing. But software engineer didn't used to be an engineering profession in my eyes, but now definitely 100% is.
Okay.
What about like a sound engineer?
Yeah, so sound engineering, you have to put engineering principles towards a finished product, right? So engineering isn't just about a way of doing things, although don't get me wrong, that is a thing that it is. There's also an ethics that comes with it that a lot of professions that call themselves engineers don't actually teach, and therefore don't qualify to be engineers. Because if you just make something, that's not good enough, not just in my eyes, but in any professional engineering services eyes. You can't just make something. You have to not make other things. I think IEEE it used to specifically include anybody who worked for like DoD weapons contractors. I don't think it does that anymore. IEEE is a little bit more how can I say this without putting my lifetime IEEE membership at risk, since I'm not allowed to shit talk it? They're more corporate than they used to be. Let's put it that way. There was a time where I honestly don't know how anyone who's taken an engineering 101 course could ever work as a contractor for a weapons company. Because it's basically one of the first things that they teach you is to not make things that will hurt things. You have to always be advancing humanity as a whole rather than yourself.
That's kind of like Starfleet.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of people don't give a shit about engineering ethics, but it kind of matters to me. I don't know. I feel like other engineers, if they were here, they would agree with me on this. That like engineering ethics.
I'll talk to my brother because he's an aerospace engineer.
Yeah, so engineering ethics is something you learn at the very beginning, but you're never tested on it, and you never hear about it again, except in like business courses.
Yeah.
And there are branches of engineering that never have to take that again, right? Like they never take business courses. So they hear about ethics at the beginning and they never put it in practice or are tested. So electrical engineers, a lot of what we do, if you do it wrong, you'll kill somebody. So
yeah, I
would suspect mechanical and aerospace probably have a very serious obligation to, those are the kind of products that will directly harm the user or unintended victims. Mm-hmm. But having not taken those courses, I couldn't say for sure. Chemical engineering, almost every chemical engineer I've known has been an insane bastard. So male, female, and any gender spectrum, they've all been crazy ass motherfuckers. If someone told you they were a chemical engineer, I would say don't trust them right at the very start. Just don't.
My podcast co-host is a chemical engineer.
Is he crazy?
Actually, my cousin is too.
Is he crazy?
Well, sorry, he has a degree in chemical engineering. He's a university teacher now,
But is he crazy?
Well, he's a university teacher.
That's it. And my podcast co-host, who's got the degree, he works for the trains. He's a train controller.
Well, that's very different than working with chemicals.
Yeah, he clearly the degree was, for fun only.
Well, he probably learned quite a bit about systems on the way in, which is definitely all what train engineering is nowadays.
Yeah.
So I assure you that most of what I learned about electrical engineering I do not apply in daily life, but there is a lot that I learned about systems and optimization and ethics that I attempt to apply as often as possible.
He says as a train controller, he's only got one job, and that's to make sure two things never occupy the same space at the same time.
Ooh, that's a good... Wow. You sure he doesn't work in train engineering marketing? That's a good line.
Yeah. No, so my brother works for the civilian side of Dassault, which is a French aerospace company.
Yep, we have a facility up near me.
Yeah, famous for making basically all of the French fighter jets for their military.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they have a facility right up near us, probably about 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
The area was supposed to get a huge influx of engineers because of... Who's that fucking bastard who runs Tesla? A piece of shit that...
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk had announced that up in that general area, he was going to open a Tesla plant. And we gave him billions of dollars to do it. And then he was like, you know what? I'm going to do it somewhere else. Thanks for the cash, Delaware. And so Dassault picked up a couple of the, people who'd moved here in anticipation of getting a job with Elon Musk. But, we generally hate him around here. And he's become that was like 8 to 10 years ago. I was still in college when that happened. He is a piece of shit. Just to repeat, Elon Musk, piece of shit.
I saw a Valentine's meme today that said, "Girls, don't go out with a nerdy guy expecting he'll turn into the next Elon Musk. More likely he'll be in tech support with lots of plastic figures on his shelf." I was like, "I'm in this photo and don't like it."
I mean,
all right, well, shall we outro then? And
sure.
So you can get fully focused on Eco and turn the sound back on.
Oh, I've been fully focused on Eco the whole time. I don't need the sound of mine gold.
See, Arthur was convinced that you were in mortal peril, Spoon. When
I was convinced. I was worried about you.
You were just sleeping off like another night of late night Eco.
He did say that.
I do. When you dropped in on AP and I the other day, immediately after you left, we both went, I guess Dad said we have to go to bed. Oh man. No, I've kind of backed off a little bit on Eco. I
Everybody has. I'm the only one down here holding it down every single day.
I mean, I log in and basically set a bunch of orders to start cooking, and then go, all right, I guess I'll take care of this tomorrow.
And that's perfectly fine. I think we'll still get it, especially if we get people to come in next weekend and just kind of finish everything up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll win. We're gonna fight and we'll be free of the meteor.
Blow up the meteor.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to blowing up the meteor. I want it to look amazing.
Yeah,
we'll do it live on stream.
There we go.
Speaking of meteors, I did watch half of the film Greenland this week.
Is that about meteors?
Yeah, it's a new Gerard Butler film that's Amazon Prime exclusive about meteors hitting the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm convinced of Gerard Butler.
Sorry?
Ponder, are you a Gerard Butler fan?
I tend to enjoy whatever movie he's in, no matter the premise, typically.
And
he's
a structural engineer in the film as well, so it's got engineering.
He's an engineer in a lot of different... Wasn't he in one where he was like an evil, bad engineer? Citizen something? I was with him right till the end of the film.
Law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, I was with his character until the end of the film when he started being like, all right, well, now I'm going to murder people. And I was like, you were sympathetic right up until the murder people thing. Like, I was with you. You were a good guy right up until that point.
That was a good example of a poorly done heel turn.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where are you, Arthur? What are you going
Keep
on?
notes,
What's
Seth.
going on? Where can people find you, Arthur?
Are you the host today? I'm so excited. Where can people find me? Probably this exact channel, since it's my channel. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Discord, all at AP Gaming Real. It's true. If you do want to give me more money, I'll be at Patreon. I don't spend my time there though. I just spend my money there. Yeah. Come hang out if you want to or not. I'll be playing Eco, but I'm also going to be playing more Spider-Man Miles Morales on stream. And what else can I say? We've got a show launching this week, probably. It's Dinner in a Dungeon, a 5th edition game, where there's going to be lots of descriptions of feasting and food. It's going to be like a George R. R. Martin, but, only the food part, not the other George R. R. Martin hallmarks.
I did like your thrown in food talk as part of your intros and outros. I appreciated that in your episode 0 show.
Yeah. Well, I hope to make that a hallmark of what we're doing. I want to talk about what it is we're doing.
That's why I can never guest on that show, by the way, because if you're like, so what's the most interesting thing you've cooked this year? I'll be like, cheese toast. That's
fine though. Not everyone can reach that. Cotton is going to talk about the 2 Tostino's pizzas pushed together, right? Pano, this is what it is?
You got me.
I don't. You're the one who's seen and/or eaten it. Don't ask me.
I have a question for you. If you take 2 lasagnas and then put one on top of the other,
it's still one lasagna. Yeah, it's one lasagna now.
It's not 2 lasagnas. It's one just really tall.
Yeah, it's the law of cumulative lasagnas. They're not multiplicative. They're cumulative.
You're just adding layers.
I agree. I think that's
if you make a triple decker sandwich like a club or something, you don't call it 2 different sandwiches. You call it a club sandwich, right?
Sure.
So if you take 2 lasagnas, a layered food, and you layer them on top of each other, I believe that they are now one food. That's just food law.
So what to you are the layers of a lasagna? Not in order, just what are the different types of layers? There's pasta sheets, obviously. What else is there?
I mean, it depends on what type of lasagna you're having, James. Lasagna is not... It's like pizza. It's not some easy dish where there's a simple answer.
Yeah, but there's a standard style of lasagna, right?
Sure, there's a standard style of pizza, and every pizza breaks away from that. I mean, you gotta have the whatever you call it, the ricotta cheese or whatnot in the middle of it.
Bechamel sauce. That's it. So I had
yeah, that's true. Bechamel.
An American coworker who was Italian as well, and he'd never heard of bechamel sauce on lasagna. For him, it was just sheets of pasta, layer of meat, and then cheese on top.
Well, bechamel sauce is pretty difficult to prepare, from what I'm remembering. Right? There's it's one of the French mother sauces, and it's one of the more complicated ones. But yeah, I don't know, man. I had to make a vegetarian lasagna before, and it was a painful experience preparing vegetarian food. It's not for me. If it doesn't have meat, it's shit. It's like that if it's not Scottish, it's shit meme.
It's like asking a woodworker to bleach their walnut wood.
Wow, is walnut a dark wood?
Yes.
So we have a question: Is Eco worth the not sale price?
If you if you want to watch a woodworker's happiness of making a nice, pretty box out of a beautiful material, and then his wife just immediately saying, "No, do this," and just ruin a piece of a beautiful box.
Well, I mean that's how well done steaks work, right? If you want to have a well done meat, do not get it in steak form. Get it in ground beef or beef leftovers. Because the guy who made that steak spent hours cutting and sorting the beef in order to source it so that it would be cooked at not well done. They made that thing beautiful, and you shit all over it. Then you lit it on fire and burned it to a crisp. Well done steaks are a travesty. Just use leftover beef scraps for that shit. It'll taste the exact same, I assure you.
Mm-hmm. So... AP, do you think Eco is worth the not sale price?
Eco is worth what Yes, but it's only so if you play with friends and you get a good community together. If I was trying to do this solo, I would die. I'm already at the point where even if I stayed logged in every single day, I don't have enough specialization spread to get what I need.
Mhm.
I have to rely on other people to bring me materials in order to finish this up.
So can I just say that when that question was asked, I quickly went onto Steam to like search for what does eco cost. I don't know.
It's like $30, right?
I noticed that the second game in my search under eco is a game called Eco Warrior Simulator. So have this: fight for our planet in Eco Warrior Simulator. Expose environmental problems all over the world and raise global awareness by executing a series of non-violent protests. Infiltrate the least green companies, expose their crimes against nature, and don't get arrested for trespassing.
I was gonna say, at this point, you'll probably be arrested for terrorism, given the way the governments work.
Yeah, I think I would probably agree with you there, Arthur. Like,
I do like it when people agree with me.
if you've got a community to play with, probably if you like, games where optimization is important, and building systems of construction and supply lines and stuff like that, I would say absolutely. But if not, wait for the sale price.
It definitely is about building optimization. Learning Alt and Shift moves was huge for us.
Yeah.
Speaking of people who do outros involving the word eco, Big Spoon, what do you got? That's right, we were doing outros at some point.
That's correct. We were doing outros. I am Big Spoon. You can find me over on Twitter at BigSpoon223 or on Arthur's Discord. I'll be here tomorrow for my continuing guest spot on Oath of Indosteel, where I play a tanker. So I'm excited for that, to see how that battle goes. You'll also find me back here on Saturdays for the continuing adventures of the crew of the Hand of Calixtus. So that's pretty much it for me.
Speaking of someone who's a member of the Hand of Calixtus, let's talk to Pondo.
I am Pondo, or Pondo the Mad. You can find me here Saturday nights with the Hand of Calixtus crew. Well, he didn't really say it at all. I don't know.
We're gonna spell crew Krewewe from now on. We're just gonna go undercover as orcs. What's that called? Diganobs?
Knobs, yeah.
We'll all need to get our orc accents ready.
Me name's Umi Killer Gitman. I'm the biggest crumper on this side of the Rio Grande.
I think in Shadowrun what you're talking about is called Orcsploitation.
Yeah, it's true.
Correct.
They do have their own terminology for it.
Yep.
Well. But anyway, besides being here on Saturday nights, I don't have much else going on. If you haven't catch the... did you start releasing the third wave stuff, or
No, that'll be released on the 25th.
Oh, okay. So when that comes out, you can.
Are you coming to the after party, the meetup meeting?
Yes, I should.
Okay.
Be there.
Then you'll be there.
Have you read my rewrite of the archetypes, Pondo?
I'm gonna do that here soon.
I'll tell you what. I'll do it as soon as the call ends.
I don't even want.
It's happening. It's happening. Call ends. It's gonna happen.
I'll believe when you go, oh hey, this is pretty good, but I hate the rest of this.
You're referring to the font as well, just so you know.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to find a font that looks like a chalk.
12.5 Comic Sans.
Does anyone know a good chalk font, or should I just Google?
I used one recently because I used it for my BattleTech campaign. We used to have like a chalkboard kill board on our website, and I found a good chalk font for that, but I think it's on my previous PC.
I need to find one that's commercial use. Oh, I found one.
Okay.
Let's download that. Quick Brown Fox. You know, speaking of outros, we should finish Pondos.
Yeah, I don't really have much else. I don't have anything else going on my channel at the moment.
Cyberpunk 2077 playthrough like Skyrim, where you start the whole game over again with mods. When are we gonna get that, Pondo? Give it to me.
Whenever they do some patches on the game, and mod support is apparently safe, because apparently it wasn't before. There's some sort of malware issue they were having with mods.
Well, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
That's not how I wanted to open the mod discussion. Is malware.
Yeah. Jesus.
I don't know how that worked, how they managed that, but you know what? I thought that I could probably do a let's play of it by doing all the side stuff, like side gigs and everything, out of the way first, and then just doing all the main story stuff. But the main story stuff in itself is delayed behind waiting times for calls and stuff, which is, I don't like that.
Do not worry, V-san. Why don't you go to a nice restaurant while I go talk to Hanako-sama? Call you back as soon as you finish 3 more missions. It's a priority though. Don't wander off.
Which is an issue if you're like me and decide to do, you know, I'll do all the gigs and MCPD stuff first, and then I'll do all the story stuff. Oh, I'm waiting now. Well, okay. And then I ran into a couple issues where I had people calling at the same time I had dialogue going on.
Yeah.
One instance, I had both, I forgot his name. Well, Judy, I can't remember his name at the moment. I'm blanking completely. Pretty much the guy that AP mocked.
Mocked?
Takamura?
Takamura-san. I wasn't mocking him. I was mocking the situation. He's certainly not the only one who does that.
Yeah, I had Takamura and Judy call at the same time while I was trying to talk to Johnny in the afterlife.
That's rough.
Yeah.
And all of those,
I hate the crouch button's also the cancel conversation button.
I hate that too.
When someone starts talking to me, it's like, oh, I'll stand up now. Oh, wait, no, I'm no longer talking to this person.
Yes, yeah,
You guys really, I've never had this happen. I guess I've always gotten phone calls from safe areas.
There's a timing issue, I think, in the game that doesn't have a timing system, or they don't have like, okay, you're done with this conversation. All right, we'll have someone else call you then after that.
Yeah, there is no call waiting in the Cyberpunk 2077 world. They just connect you to multiple people at once, and you got to figure it out.
I've never had this problem. The Delamain missions got a little weird, but other than that,
Delamain was fine. The only part that was annoying was the one where you had to wait for the thing to get trapped in an ambush.
I thought the flamingo one was pretty annoying, but just because it was flamingos. I'm afraid, carry the flamingos! And I'm like, what? You for real, bro?
Hey, play some Max Payne. That'll make you afraid of flamingos.
Oh boy, Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne. Listen, if you wanted... He's literally like, Vlad, he was asking me for permission to kill myself. That's right. I'd figured it all out, but one step too late. Everyone was in on it. It was a conspiracy. That's like every conversation he's ever had. Sorry, I just don't like Max Payne. I love the bullet time mechanics, but the storyline is so fucking out there. And the dialogue is incredibly noir.
Oh, you know, it's a theme.
It's a modern noir movie.
If John Woo made a noir film.
Yeah.
You got anything else, Fondo?
No, that's all from me.
You know, speaking of people who do outros, let's talk to Grimdark James.
I was going to say, I could have also been, you know, in the crew of the Hand Eclipses, given I am the majority of the crew.
I don't know that we consider faceless mobs part of the crew, though. Ooh. And the officers were mostly designed by Patreon folks, though, right? So I mean, I would count you as the crew of the Eternal Praetorium for sure.
There's some that I did originally, like Riani, for example.
Can she really be considered part of the crew, though? She is a horrifying mutant.
Yes, but we need that horrifying mutant to navigate.
We've explained that to your character, Pondo, and you were like, yes, but I just don't like her.
I realize this, but you have to deal with it.
Look, you're not always going to get along with people you work with.
So, one quick question. So, how does Riani have the strength to essentially bend a vambrace of metal of some sort or carapace?
It's an excellent question.
I'm not going to.
Wow.
I should have suspected.
That was the most GM thing James has ever done. He just waffoed you under a different name.
That's I should have expected that then.
Everything is waffo now.
I'll find out as she's crushing my throat.
I got to say, one quick thing is that when I've run modern day settings and I've been like looking for names for NPCs, I've often just like at a pinch used names of people that I've worked with as miscellaneous NPCs. And one of my players from my Scion group has recently gotten a job with my employer. And now she's worried she's going to be running into all these people that she's heard the names of before in completely different contexts.
Amazing.
I can't wait to hear about all the Arthurs in your other game. Enter the Arthurverse.
That's it. So I'm Grim.James. You can find me back here on Wednesday for Cyberpunk 2020++, and also next week again for Rogue Trader, where I might get my orc on finally. Like,
It's time, James. It's time.
3 sessions, we'll see. Okay. And also, don't forget, Harlequins coming to screen near you as a bit of a teaser there. Other than that, I'm actually looking forward as well to checking out Oath of Endor tomorrow night. Or tomorrow day my time. So I realize actually with daylight saving where it is right now, it actually comes out when I get to work, not when I'm on the way to work, but I'll be watching it on the way home from work tomorrow.
Perfect.
There we go.
But looking forward to that. Anyway, but that's my week. I am around Arthur's Discord if you're looking for me. Don't know where you would be, but anyway, ask me questions about BattleTech if you like, or other systems. I've got a bunch behind me.
Oh, there's actually one thing I was wondering about, but I'll ask you later. It's someone that brought attention of line of sight issues that we've had, or firing arcs, where apparently it's supposed to be done by a straight edge directly to the sides, as opposed to the way we.
Oh, what Sonar was bringing up. Yeah. I don't know about all that.
What was the debate?
We'll have to link the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let's see.
He was talking about becoming a Catalyst game demo agent, so if there's one person I would send him to talk to, I guess it would be you, James. As you are currently a Catalyst game demo agent last time I checked.
The barrier for entry is not high. It's asked to become one.
I don't know. I heard that I'm not that popular in certain circles over there. Mostly for dunking on Confederates. Did we ever figure out whether our game qualifies for game demo agent credit?
Yep, 100% it does.
Can we get that post-mortem?
Email from Mary. I can share that, no problem.
Can we get what retroactively applied?
What game are we talking? What?
For all the BattleTech games.
Oh.
Yeah, so with Catalyst demo stuff, when they get the games recorded, first off, the agents have to do a number of games to maintain their accreditation.
Somehow I don't think that's going to be a problem for me, but go on.
But also, I haven't done it for a while, but originally when you used to, because the players can't register games they play, but if they're registered, the GM can register they played in the game. And players can actually unlock like access to free PDFs, for example, for some of the books. I think that portal's been down for ages though, because it was being run by someone who didn't work for Catalyst, who was just like, he was a demo agent who set the portal up, and then he stopped being a demo agent, and the portal just timed out basically. So I don't even know if the portal to even register games still works right now.
That's interesting.
That's okay. I have video evidence to show that I ran them. I could send it to whoever needs them.
You just send them a link to the YouTube playlist.
You can get someone patches like this. There.
Ooh. It'll go right next to my malformed Steel Viper patch.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Look at you, Jade Falcon loyalist.
I had a person in the street stop me and say, Jade Falcon sucked the other day when I was wearing that.
What? They're right, though.
Oh, man. That's fantastic.
Our the Wolf really rubbed that in, too. Our the Wolf was like, you know what sucks? Jade Falcons.
What a thing to get recognized on the street, though. Like, oh, hey. Oh, yeah, Jade Falcons suck.
Bitch. Heard you like mass murders.
Oh, man.
Okay, well, speaking of Jade Falcons, let's make like a Jade Falcon and turn tail and run.
Oh.
We'll see you next week, guys. Have a good night.